And Donahue, we're back again. Another new book. You must be very excited.
Yes, Brian, I am. I'm looking forward to the launch of my first photography book, and in the next couple of weeks. It's called Ireland Through a Lens.
It's very, very detailed. You have 7 categories. Maybe you could run through some of them and the joy you got from producing it.
Yes, I decided, I joined the local camera club in Cavan 3 years ago, and I love photography. My mum always did photography, and she had loads of photographs around the walls in our sitting room, and I knew what I looked like when I was a week old, when I was 20, 30, 40, 50. So I passed on all these memories to my sons, Dermot and Cian O'Donoghue, and I decided last year I'd go around Ireland and try and get some good shots of around the different landscapes around Ireland and the different areas, because Ireland is beautiful. It's rugged mountains, and it's also 40 shades of green. So that's what I want to talk about today. And
taking photographs from all over Ireland, you must have had some fun moments. Maybe you talk about some of those.
Yes, when I was down in Kerry last year with Discover Ireland Tours, I managed to get up on a donkey with the help of a few friends. Actually, there was a stool. I had to get up on a stool because I'm so small. And we had a great crack, and I enjoyed going around getting a special shot. People were very nice, and I'd always ask them, could I take a photograph? And I was lucky to get some wonderful landscapes and some cool images of boats and people walking hand in hand and different areas.
Maybe you'd run through some of the key photographs. One on the strand at Laytown.
Yes, my father years ago when we were young had horses and used to train horses. So I love horses, and my local camera club went to up to Laytown to the horse racing, and we took a few photographs. That was my first photographs of horses racing. So actually we had some of them in the Cavan photography expedition in the library, and I just got a great image of the 2 jockeys just sitting and walking with the horses and chatting to each other very calmly and quietly.
Now, you paint, and a previous book of yours was on painting, and you have a beautiful one of the sunset over swelling and the orange reflections.
Yes, I actually love reflections. I started doing reflections in the past 6 months. I live in Cavan in front of a lake, and there was a sunset one evening at about 7 o'clock, and I just went out and took this shot, and it came out perfect. So I included that image, limited image in print in my book. And then the other shot is about reflections out of Killikeen, and it was in the autumn, and the colours were magnificent. Oh my God, so magnificent. And there was loads of people walking along the shore, and I got the reflection of the people, and I got all the different colours. So it inspired me to paint the painting of the reflections of Killikeen.
And another notable one was the cobwebs. You have some beautiful ones on. And what sort of emotions did you experience when you saw those, presumably early in the morning?
Yeah, actually this was about 8 a.m. in the morning, and it was a frosty morning, and I love early mornings because I'm up early training. And I just happened to go to the back of my house, and at the top of the shed I just saw this magnificent Carrick-Macross lace, because my mum, Lord of mercy, my mum Maureen Murtha, who passed away 6 years ago, she had Carrick-Macross lace on the table and she loved it. And I took a shot at this, and it did bring back emotions. And I couldn't get over the workshop that went into it, and I just happened to take that shot in different angles, and I'm so excited to have it in my book as well, my limited edition prints.
Now, one also of note, I thought it was a fashion book because you had 2 large red shoes, but give us the story behind that.
Yeah, actually that was taken last summer when I was on the way to Cork with Discover Ireland Tours with Anne-Marie Carlin. We stopped at Tipperary and were let out for an hour, and the Rock of Cashel, I took loads of photographs of that, and behind the Rock of Cashel was a big park, and I walked around the park, and I came across these 2 carved red shoes, and they were massive, and I just couldn't get over it. I just thought it was magnificent, and I took a photograph of them, and so I decided to put them into the book because it's something different. We tried to aim the book at different images, and it was very hard to cut back on all the images I took, but we tried to have a variety of images so people would like some of them.
This is bringing you into a completely new market because when, as you see, you've travelled Ireland, you go to hotels, you go to restaurants and bars, and you see photographs on the wall. So the quality of your production now is bringing you into a new market. Would you hope to aim for that market with your products?
Yes, Brian, I'm very excited about this because that's the reason why we picked the different images of 7 categories. You know, there's landscapes and wildlife and people and colours. So I'm hoping that anyone who can come along to the launch on the night and buy the book, they can buy any of the limited prints and at the biggest size is going to be A0. There's different sizes, and I'm hoping that the images will appear in different hotels and restaurants around Ireland. We hope to do some other launches of our book in different counties after we launch it in Cavan.
Of course, a book of this quality doesn't come together without a lot of help. Maybe you'd like to acknowledge some of the support that you have received in the production of the book.
A big thank you goes to Phil Partridge, who designed and edited the limited edition images in the book. His website is fil180.com.